Taxi Vlog 205. It is the 15th of May 2012. I'll give you a little update on what's been going on the last week. A week ago, Tuesday night, I wasn't too much concerned. I wasn't worried about anything, but as the night wore on, I had more and more cause for worry. I was out here from 8 o'clock till 4 in the morning, and I'm going, shit, you know, all I have is my lease. And then I think I was sleeping or whatever, because I was just so tired of reading my book. I'm about 1/3 of the way through this monster, the Peter F. Hamilton Judas Unchained. About 1/3 of the way through, see? So there is time between calls to read. But when I get to about 50 pages, I've had enough. Quite enough. Oh, these people will not let me out. Goodness. I did mention before that this is a horrible, horrible, horrible corner. Come on, you. Can you go any slower? Finally, at long last, I get to get out of there. Okay. So, at about 5:30, I woke up. I'm going, oh, well, I still only have my lease on. I need money to pay for fuel. And then, just as I was about to pull it at 5:45, as you know, it's a 6 o'clock car, the shift ends at 6. And if there's a day shift guy waiting at 6 when I bring it back, if I come back at 5 after or 10 after, there's hell to pay, because I'm making money on his shift, on his lease. I don't understand day drivers, but that's besides the point. The point is that I got my last call, and it was a $9 fare. It's a guy that I often get in the morning like that. So I took him, and he gave me the $9 for the fare, and that's what paid for the fuel. And that's it. I broke even. Tuesday night, broke even. That's all I had. I had the same exact amount of money in my pocket when I came home from work as I had when I went out to work. There's a kind of symmetry to it, don't you think? Well, we had our days off. Cindy and I went out for dinner, and we got our groceries. That video turned out awful dark. I'm gonna have to boost the contrast and the brightness and everything else just so that you'll be able to see us and see the food. I should be working on that tomorrow. Friday I came to work. It wasn't any shit hot, but it was a little better than the Friday the week before. I'm thankful that I didn't only break even, because I had to save up for the rent, you know. I'm saving up to pay the rent. Close that window a little bit, open this one a bit. There we go. But I got through the night. I'm also quite thankful that I didn't have any bizarre things happen. It was uneventful in terms of people, but that's because I avoid downtown. Saturday night, after 10 o'clock, it got busy, but when I mean busy, I mean non-stop busy. It was going like really good there till about 3:30 in the morning, and then it died flat dead. Between 4 and 6 in the morning, I had 2 fares, and this was after a night where I was making 5 or 6 trips an hour. It just, after 3, just dies. Sunday night was one of those nights where nothing would happen for a good long time, and then everything would happen at once. For example, at around 10 o'clock, the bases were loaded downtown. There was 9 or 10 cars sitting there. And I got a call from this part of town here in Saanich. I took, excuse me, dinner was good tonight. Chicken and broccoli. And Cindy put some kind of a sour cream sauce on the chicken, which was nice. I get these guys who go downtown, and I drop them off, and I don't drive but a block, and I get another call downtown to a convenience store, believe it or not. And the guy went from downtown, the convenience store, out almost to the general hospital, which was a good $20 fare. So my fortunes were turning around, and then not much happened for a while. Anyways, the night ended for me. What are these people doing walking across 4 lanes of traffic? At 2:30, I cleared from a call. I went to my favorite spot to sit. I read some from my book, yes. And then at one point, I was tired of reading. And the guy who had been sitting there before me, I guess called it quits or got a call or something. Anyway, he was gone. So I went to sleep because I couldn't read anymore, and I was just getting tired of sitting around doing nothing, looking at the sign for their Acura dealership. So I went to sleep. At 5:30 I woke up, and I had a call to take the guy from his home 2 blocks to the coffee shop on the corner that was just about to open up so that he could get his morning coffee. As soon as I was dropping him off, I was still getting paid. This thing went off and gave me another call. It was the guy who goes to work at one of the local pubs. I guess he does clean up in the morning or something. Anyway, he was on his way to the pub, and this was at 5:45. I didn't care. I waited 3 hours for a call. And was I gonna give up after a $5 trip after waiting 3 hours? No. I ended up doing this other one, which was another $15. So had I called it quits at 5:30 when I woke up, I would have been $20 poorer. Now I have enough from that night for Cindy and I to go for dinner on Thursday. We're developing a pattern here, aren't we? Yes, it's her turn to choose again. So last night, I came out, and it was a Monday night, and I was not expecting a lot. And what I was getting was, about 1 trip an hour. The first couple hours I was out here. I think I had 3 trips after being out here 2 hours, and then I resigned myself to my favorite parking spot that covered up a lot of ground, and I would just sit there and read my book. I didn't get through a page and I was sent to the McDonald's on the corner. The McDonald's was just a block away from where I usually sit. It's convenient. There are a lot of kids who go in there for a late snack and they call for cabs to go home. It's a good spot, you know. So I get called to the McDonald's and I'm thinking, okay, it's not going to be a big deal. It's some kid who decided to have a cheeseburger, maybe after working, maybe it was staff. Staff don't usually go far, they just go home. Usually it's good for maybe a $10 fare, if that. Maybe 15 if it's the guy who goes to Esquimalt. Anyway, the guy's sitting there at one of their outdoor tables, and he gets in the car and says, "Can we go to Souk?" I said, "Well, sure." He says, "Is it okay if I pay cash?" I said, "Yeah, cash is fine. Do we have to go to a bank machine to get some?" He says, No, I have it on me." I say, "Well, that's perfect. Let's go." Just like that. And we had a long conversation about money and the international bank and corporations and zeitgeist and all that fun conspiracy theory stuff, all the way out there. And he was talking about how everyone very soon will have a cell phone, and the cell phone will have everything on it, including your debit card, your credit card, your medical records, everything. He says, and it's coming. In another 2 months we'll have it. That's it. Cut in front of me and turn right. Fucking idiot. People, you know. Did you hear a little beep? I thought I heard a beep too. Anyway, that beep means that I got a call. Yay! I got a call. I got to turn around and go get that call. So what I'm going to do is pull into this A&W drive-thru and turn around, go to where I'm going. A&W drive-thru. I used to eat here 3 times a week. I used to drive through this drive-thru and order country chicken deluxe or matzo burger. And we got the Japanese tourists on the sidewalk taking a look at the pictures of each other that they just took. Yeah. Tourists, yes, we're starting to get tourists back. And the Alaska cruises, people going on cruise ships to Alaska, come into Victoria as their last port. It turns out that if the ship pulls in at a foreign port before touching home at Seattle, they don't have to pay benefits to the employees or something like that. Anyway, it's a international maritime law dodge out of so that the cruise ship company gets away with not having to pay something. Yes, cruise ships. That's what I was going to talk about. Anyway, that trip that I was talking about was $70 out to Souk. The guy gave me $80 in cash. Made my night last night, and the rest of the night I just coasted. I did the odd trip, read from my book, and I digress. Anyway, last night turned out good. I had more money towards the rent. It was nice. It was a good Monday night. Cruise ships. Yes, I was talking about cruise ships. Now, when there's cruise ships in town, they're docking down at Ogden Point near downtown. All these cabs, like seagulls, they flock towards the cruise ship, and then they wait in line to get these little fares that don't go very far. Of course, what they're doing is they're gambling on getting the fare that will take them out to Butchart Gardens, where they take a Butchart Garden tour, and the people go through the garden and watch the flowers and look at the trees and stuff, and then the driver sits there in the parking lot with his thumb up his ass waiting for them to come back out and then drive them back to town, and that commands a hefty premium, especially if it's on the meter. Or they're trying to get people off the ship who want to go to the casino and gamble. Casino is like, depending on which way the driver goes, $25 or $30 fare from the cruise ship. So these guys are all lining up and they all want to do city tours for these people, so they're doing the city tour thing. I'm not the city tour type. I don't really want to answer a bunch of questions, and I don't really know that much. I mean, I know stuff, but I don't know what people want to see, so I'm conscientious about tour guiding. I don't know what people want to see, so I'm a point A to point B type of cabbie. I like to go from one place to your destination, drop you off at your destination. I give you a smile, you give me a tip, that's it, that's all. Hi, Rock. Well, I did say that's it, that's all, didn't I? So I hope yours is better than mine. Thanks, and have a good night. Yeah.